Hey everyone, welcome to our Team Sevier Happiness Recruiting One-on-One training. I'm so excited to have all of you here and excited to have Catherine Ballard's team with us. Welcome, ladies. I'm gonna go pretty in depth on what I believe are like the literal, tangible steps to help you know what to do to get started when it comes to recruiting. So first off, the very first thing that I wanted to talk about is like the pre to all of this is you need to know what inspires you to build a team. Like, why do you even want to build a team? Why do you want to recruit? I know that probably seems like an obvious question, but if you don't know why you truly want to build a team, then it's going to be really hard to keep pushing forward when you get rejected and you have all of those ups and downs that are sure to come in this business. It's not going to be sprinkles all the time, guys. It's not going to be like you're recruiting every month of the year. So it's no one's job to motivate you. Remember that. No one's job to motivate you. It's no one's job to tell you how many people you should be recruiting and what you should be doing for your team. That is your job. And the only way that you're going to know what to do is if you know what inspires you, not motivate. I say inspire for a reason, because I've learned from Paul Blanchard, for those of you who attended RAIN, he talked about this in his, when he spoke, and it was awesome. Instead of focusing on being motivated, focus on being inspired. Because when we're inspired, that's how we can stay steady and consistent in our business, even with the ups and downs. It's kind of like the heartbeat or the lifeblood to our system. So figure out what inspires you and really get deep with that. Like, really ask yourself questions. Okay, why do I want a team? Why do I want to make this income? You know, how is that going to serve me, or how's this going to serve other people? I think you need to have a reason for yourself and a reason for other people. Because sometimes if we just make it about other people, it's hard to get going when they don't treat us the way that we want them to treat us. Is this making sense? Hopefully, just nod your head. Okay. All right, so once you've got that kind of figured out, and that's going to change you guys too. Don't feel like, oh, once I decide what it is, like I'm stuck with that thing. Like, don't perfect or stress over that. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is you need to overcome your fears and mind blocks of recruiting in order to help other people do the same thing. So if you're coming into recruiting with the feeling of, I can't recruit, I suck, I can't build my team, I'm not a leader, then guess what? The people that you're talking to are going to feel that energy from you, and they're probably not going to join your team. So you have to go into it, you know, kind of the fake it till you make it, like, I am a leader, I am becoming a leader, I am doing the things, I can recruit, I'm not afraid, this is a blessing, this is an opportunity, and just switching that mindset. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is by self-development. I am huge on self-development. I listen to it every single day. It's literally like my medicine to my business. Like, it is what keeps me going. So some of my favorite people, I love to listen to podcasts. I love listening to Ray Higdon and Jesse Lee Ward and Brendan Burchard. And Paul Blanchard, actually, if you guys follow him on Facebook, maybe someone can type this out in the chat, at The Habit Finder on Facebook, he goes live every Tuesday at noon Mountain Standard Time, and he does a training. And all of his trainings are awesome, and they help so much with mental blocks and just mindset and all of that good stuff. So follow him. And then I was recently, I know Amanda Ernest shared the book by Rob Sperry. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I met him in person. He's incredible. He did some stuff at GoPro. I highly recommend listening to that Audible book. I'm planning to start that tomorrow. That's on my list of things to do. So check him out. And just make that part of your daily routine, like 20 minutes of self-development. And don't budge on that, okay? The second thing that I'm going to tell you to do as you dive into recruiting is to create your ideal customer and your ideal artist. I say both because you're going to end up recruiting a lot from your ideal or from your customer base. So you need to know who your ideal customer is, and you also need to know who your ideal artist is. And I want you to get like crazy specific, like so specific that you know what they look like, you know what they like to eat, you know what their personality is like, what their family size is, what their interests are. And the reason why you need to know those things is so that you can speak to them. So when you're showing up on social media and you're doing your posts about the artist program and you're doing your stories about, you know, how it's blessing your life, you know what this ideal artist and customer wants to hear from you because you know who they are already. You're basically creating them into existence. So something I did is I have written down like the characteristics of my ideal customer and my ideal artist, and I have it hung up where I can see it every single day as a reminder of the kind of people that I want to attract and the kind of people I want to work with in my business. And I feel like that's really helped me not only create authentic and like genuine content on social media, but it's also more fun for me because I feel like it's allowed me to be so much more myself because I know who I want to work with. So you have to be very clear about who you want to work with, and you will find those people. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is utilizing the bubble charts. I believe this is in Team Freedom as well. Those of you on Catherine Ballard's team, it's the roadmap to influencer that Kat Fairchild and them they made a while ago. So make sure you guys, I always print out bubble charts for my next 2 ranks. And even if you literally have like no one on your radar, let's say you're an elite hacker, you're like, what do I put in my top hacker bubbles? Like, just put in names of people that you would love to work with, or make up whatever your ideal customer or artist name is. Like, put it in the bubble chart, create a few avatars. Just fill that out, and same thing, print it out and put it somewhere where you can see it every single day. And on that bubble chart, I want you to set the date of when you want to hit that rank by. And I want you to put what your team size is, how many, you know, what's your total team volume, what's your personal sales like. You have to be so clear on what you want and start visualizing it, what it's going to feel like when you hit that rank, when you get that shout out post, like all just kind of setting up your mind for success, right? So do that. And then the other thing is, okay, so sorry guys, I'm going fast. So the first thing is know why you're here, what inspires you. Number 2, self-development. Number 3, creating your ideal client and artist. And then number 4, setting goals. So the bubble chart would go along with setting goals. And what I do is I always set a goal of how many artists I want to join my team every single month, like my personal team and my total team. And I know how many I want quarterly and how many I want yearly. And then for the month, I'll say, okay, let's say I wanted to add 2 new artists to my team that month. So I've kind of figured roughly that for every 10 people I talk to actively about the artist program, I'll typically get 1. And that's a good number. So if I want to recruit 2 people, I tell myself I want to talk to at least 20 to 30 people to get 2 recruits. So then I say, okay, if I want to talk to 20 to 30 people, then that averages out to, I need to be talking to 1 new person every single day. So in my method of operations or my income producing activities, wherever you want to fit this under, I would write out, I'm going to talk to 1 new person today. So how are you going to find that person? So if you're just starting out, you want to work with your warm market, people who already know, like, and trust you, maybe some of your customers. So you're going to make a list of all the women you can think of. No prejudging. I swear every person who's joined my team is someone I never thought would do this business. So never prejudge, and just write out that list. And then you can start conversations with those people. I think a lot of times we think, okay, if I'm starting a conversation, I don't want to be like that icky person that just starts talking about the artist program. So don't be. We're in the relationship business, you guys. So these conversations should purely be about building a relationship with them and seeing through your conversation if the artist program would truly be a good fit for them. It's going to come up naturally in your conversation because when they ask you how you're doing and what you've been up to, you better say you've been doing mascara because that's your life, right? And so as you naturally bring that up in conversation, you're going to find those little cues And I'm not gonna lie, there's probably gonna be some awkward conversations. It's probably gonna be embarrassing sometimes. You might say it at the wrong time, whatever. Like, get over that. Remove the fear of being embarrassed or maybe offending someone on accident or whatever. And just make sure that as you're in these conversations, you're always making it about them and showing them how this can serve them. Not about you, because it's not about you and your goals and your team size. It's truly like, is this really going to be a good fit for Susie? She just told me that, you know, she's going through a hard time, or she's feeling really alone because she's suffering through postpartum depression. How could mascara be a good fit for her? Well, the sisterhood, just being a part of the sisterhood and maybe having a little extra income to go out for date night or whatever. You know, that's how you can make it work for them and show them how this can be a blessing for them. Okay, is all of this making sense? Everyone nod your head. Any questions so far? Okay, let me just look at my list here. So you determine how many people you need to talk to, you make a list, and then the next thing, number 4, is to weave it into your everyday life. What if you guys, maybe this is crazy, but what if you shared about the artist program the way that you shared about the makeup? What if you brought the same passion that you have for the makeup and how it makes you feel and when you talk about the artist program? I think sometimes there's this separation between the two, because for some reason a lot of us have it in our mind that if we talk about the artist program that we're going to scare people away, or we're going to come off as pushy. Oh gosh, if we're pushy, or, you know, like that we're spamming people or whatever. I want you to switch that mindset to, I truly believe that the artist program could benefit every single woman who's following me here in my beauty group or on social media, just like I believe the makeup can serve and benefit every single person that's in my network. And so make it a goal every single week on social media to talk about the artist program as much as you talk about the makeup. So if you talk about the makeup one day a week, talk about the artist program one day a week, and just, you know, keep that going. And what I mean by that is it doesn't always necessarily have to be a post that's like, hey guys, come join me, this is what I'm doing. It could be something as simple as, it's Friday and I get paid every Friday in my stories, and this is what I'm able to do because of this paycheck this week. This is how it's blessed my life. Or, you know, you could talk about something that you learned from Rain, or something that you learned from a training, like doing a story of this training right now. I mean, anything like that, just making it normal and natural and talking about it because it's what you do every single day. Or maybe it's your conversations on Voxer, or I don't know, just whatever. That's what I mean by talking about the artist program, showing people that it's fun and it's normal and it's not some weird, icky, spammy network marketing thing that we don't talk about. Okay? All right, so weaving into your daily life, stories, posts, let's see. Oh, okay, the other thing is, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to most likely recruit heavily from your customer base. And so in order to recruit from your customer base, you need to be talking to your customers about the artist program. So anytime I get a customer who gets the makeup, and I always follow up when they get the makeup, and if they love it so much, I always ask them, oh my gosh, you look so amazing, like you did such an amazing job. Have you ever thought about doing the artist program with me? That's it. And if they say no, it's like, okay, it's just not right now, right? You just keep fostering them and loving them as a customer, but planting that seed right when they get that makeup and making them think about it. And you know what? They might say, oh, actually, like that could be fun. Tell me more about that. And then when they do, that's when you utilize the third-party tools like maybe mascara on Facebook. Catherine Ballard's team, we have a team at Maybe Mascara on Instagram, so we send people there. But just not being afraid to bring it up, or, you know, obviously you're going to be able to feel that out, but with your customers, getting them to host a class. And if they have a lot of people who are interested, instead of putting those orders under you right away, reaching out to your customer and saying, hey, Susie, I don't know if you realize this, but you've got 4 gals who want to be color matched, and there's more coming. You know, if I'm doing the math here. If you bought the basic kit, you would make your kit back tonight and more. You get the commissions and you get free products. So turning hostesses into artists is like such a no-brainer. It's such a great way to get artists who like want to be here, because if they're willing to host a class, they could be an artist. Okay, so, and then just same thing with people who are in your warm market, like people who follow you on social media. I always, when I do polls or stories, I always interact with the people who are liking and commenting and watching my stuff. And that, like, when I was talking about creating relationships earlier, like, you know, one new friend a day, how many people you're talking to, that's who I'm going to go to first, because they're already showing up for me. So if I'm, you know, taking the time out of my day to send them a quick voice message on Instagram, I'm creating another seed or another connection with them, right? And there might be an opportunity in our conversation where I can bring up the artist program, or maybe I do a story about it and they're like, hey, that was really cool that she took that time to voice message me or video message me. Maybe I'll check this out. So, sorry, I know that was kind of all over the place, but just always taking advantage of those opportunities. Michelle, you're here?
Yep.
Hey, Michelle, do you want to share kind of what you've been doing lately with what you talked about earlier today? I'd love to have you share that.
You want me to try to show my face?
Sure, if you want to. You're fine either way. Don't stress.
Okay, I don't know how to figure it out. I'll just talk.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, sorry. I was cleaning my kitchen. Multitasking. Okay, so Paige just asked me to share a little bit of what I shared on the Voxer thread today. It's the Happiness Builders Voxer thread. So if you guys want to hop on there, there's a lot of great help for team building and promoting your sales. But the thing that I shared on there was just a mindset shift that I've had lately that has really helped me kind of open up doors for building my team. I just realized that when I share the products, like, I don't think of it as trying to get sales. Like when I do a makeover and I, you know, share the Bella bronzer, I don't think, oh, if I sell this Bella bronzer, then I will make this much more in commissions. Instead, I think the Bella bronzer is going to make her feel like so much more beautiful, and it'll really polish out her look. Like, she really does need this. And so it becomes less about, or it becomes like not about the money making side, and more of like just the idea of helping her feel more beautiful. And so when it comes to the artist opportunity, it's the exact same thing. It's not, oh, I want to share this idea of becoming a mascara artist because I want to, you know, build my team. It's, no, I love what I do. I think she would love doing it as well, and it could really bless her life. So then when you think of it that way, it doesn't become like awkward and weird and like you're trying to pitch something. Like, it just becomes natural in the way that you share it. So I've been setting just some personal challenges or goals for myself. And one of the things that I decided to do is just start talking to everybody about the artist program. And part of it comes from listening to the personal development books. I think it was GoPro that I listened to, where they talked about how you just always end with asking for like the next person, asking for a referral. And so whether that's getting the next makeover, or I've now added just asking if anybody knows someone who might be interested in doing what I do. So I did a makeover on this beautiful girl on Tuesday afternoon. Our kids go to the same elementary school. I've been wanting to test out the darker highlight colors, and so she's from West Africa, but she's been living in the States for quite a while. Anyway, I just noticed her beautiful skin, and so it was actually a while ago that I talked to her and just said, I'd love to try this makeup on you. You're so beautiful. I just would love to see how it translates. And she's like, yeah, sure, that'd be fun. And then we connected again, and she's like, hey, I remember you. And anyway, I said, let's give it a try. And so Tuesdays when we connected, and she just loved the makeup. And then as she was headed out the door, I just said, hey, do you know of anyone that might be interested in doing a makeover, or maybe even doing this type of business like I do? And she said, yeah, maybe my sister might be interested. She used to do makeup at Nordstrom, so maybe she would be interested. And I was like, yeah, sure, connect me. Let's get, you know, visiting on Instagram. You can have her follow my account and we can just see what happens there. Anyway, I was following up with her, just making sure that she had my contact info and all this stuff to pass on to her sister. And then today, out of the blue, she messages me and was like, you know what? I think I want to do this. And so I just think about how if I hadn't asked her that question, she probably wouldn't have thought, maybe I could do it. The extent of her thoughts might have been, oh, I really love this makeup. I want to buy it. And so just putting that thought out there, and I'm not saying that every single time that that's going to happen, but you just never know who might catch on to the idea of becoming an artist. So those two things have really helped me, just shifting my mindset to just about it blessing them and me being excited to share the opportunity because it's something that will be a benefit in their life. And then two, I'm just challenging myself to just ask everyone. And then the last thing I would definitely say, Paige was talking a little bit about pushing away that fear of embarrassment, but I actually look at it like just embracing it and accepting it, like being okay that, hey, someone might say no, or it might be awkward, or it might, you know, whatever negative feelings might come as you step out of your comfort zone. Like, it's okay. Like, just embrace those feelings, let them flow, let them run through you, and then move on to the next thing. Because it's in that resistance of those feelings that it makes it harder. So that's been helpful to me.
Oh my gosh, thanks so much, Michelle. So much better. I love how you said that. That is such a better way to put it. Embrace the fear and do it anyway. Such good advice. And it just reminded me of when you guys are asking your customers if they've ever thought about the artist program, and if they tell you no, or they're not interested, or they're not open to it right now, just doing what Michelle said, like just always turn every conversation into an opportunity to ask for a referral. So, because you never know, they might be like, well, actually, yeah, like my sister loves makeup, or my sister works in a salon, or whatever. So that's such great advice. Thanks so much for sharing that, Michelle. So many good things to take from that. Okay, the last thing, one of the last things I wanted to talk about is, I don't think Whitney is on this call. I know she's busy mom of four. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is something that Eric Worre, who is the one who holds the GoPro, he always says to be a consultant and not a seller. And something I've learned from doing the Habit Finder coaching with Paul is when we're talking to people, we have a natural habit of taking what they say and turning it back to us by relating with them, like, oh yeah, like the feel, felt, found, right? We hear a lot about that in network marketing, to use that tactic. But something that I've learned is, instead of doing feel, felt, found, when people are sharing things with you or they give you objections, all you do is simply ask another question. So you would say, tell me more about that. Or why is that? I would love to hear more about that. And never turn the conversation back to you, and just make it all about them. Because in doing that, number one, they're going to feel that love from you, that you truly and genuinely care about maybe what some of their concerns are, and they're probably going to be a little bit more willing to share those concerns with you. And better yet, utilize third-party tools and get on a phone call with your upline and have your upline ask that question. Because they might feel even more comfortable sharing that with someone who's a little bit removed from the conversation in that way. But just always, like I said, we are in the relationship business. And so instead of focusing on like, how am I going to close them? How am I going to get them? How am I going to get this number, this goal? Focus on, how can I better understand them? How can I better serve them? How can I help them feel comfortable or feel that they're in a safe space to share maybe some of their insecurities or their fears of doing this business. Because we all were there, you know, when we signed up, right? We know what it felt like, but we need to give them that opportunity to share that with us. And from there, we can then resolve those concerns and either, like I said, utilize a phone call or utilize something in maybe mascara or a mascara happiness page that will help resolve their concern. Does that make sense? So getting out of that habit of turning the conversation on you and just keep asking questions. If you don't know what to say, just ask another question. And you'll find as you do that, that almost always they resolve their own concerns through talking it out, and they realize what they really want and almost always decide like either they're going to do it right now or they're not going to do it. And that's all you're trying to do. You're just trying to help them figure out what they want and get to that end decision. Okay. I think that's pretty much everything. I was going to have Whitney share basically one thing I'll just share with you really quick that she says that she does is she does a lot of in-home parties. And like Michelle said, she just always talks about the artist opportunity. Whenever she's doing makeovers or, you know, people are over, when she has a new artist do a launch class, they talk about the artist program. Like it's an amazing blessing. It's an amazing opportunity. Why wouldn't we bring this up? Like, I just think it's so easy to talk about the makeup, and we should just talk about the makeup or the artist opportunity as much as we talk about the makeup. So, okay. So first thing, know what inspires you. How are you going to keep going? Commit to your decision. If you decide to build a team here, commit to that. That's one thing I wanted to point out about Michelle is she came to me, 4 or 5 months ago now, and said, okay, I'm really serious about doing this. I'm gonna do this. And she's like gone full force, and she's a powerhouse now. She's like got 3 girls basically signing up this month. It's amazing. So once you make the decision that you want to recruit and you want to build a team, it's gonna come naturally as you follow these things. So, okay, sorry, side tangent. Commit to your decision, self-development, create your ideal client and artist, get very specific, hang that up somewhere where you can see it every day, and then speak to those people on social media and in your beauty groups. Set goals, fill out the roadmap to influencer bubble charts, determine how many you want to recruit each month, and then break that up into the day. Make your list of names of people that you'd love to work with. Don't prejudge. Number 4, weave it into your life and make it natural and normal. Talk about the artist program as much as you talk about the makeup. Utilize third-party tools, phone calls with your upline, and maybe mascara, and be a consultant and not a seller. Always ask questions and make the conversation about them. Okay, I think that was everything. Okay, Jordan, question. When a person starts following you and is interacting with you, do you have a few conversations before you bring up the program, or just go for it since they are already watching? That's a good question. I would say it depends, Jordan. It just depends on the interaction that I've had with them and what they've been interacting to. So if they've like never responded to any of my makeup stuff, then I'm probably not going to bring it up. But if they have responded to my makeup stuff, especially if they're a customer and they have the makeup, then yeah, I'll totally bring it up. But even if they haven't tried the makeup before, I usually will say something like, hey, like, thanks so much for always supporting me here. Like, I see that you always like love my makeup stuff, and that's so exciting. Like, tell me a little bit about, like, have you ever delved into the makeup world, or what are your interests? Like, I would start asking questions like that, and then eventually it would be like, well, have you ever thought about doing something like this, like what I'm doing? I don't know if that makes sense, but I basically just kind of fill it out and just start asking questions, and it easily just gets to a point where I can bring up the artist program. So, okay, thanks so much everyone for being here, and I'm so excited for all of you to hit your goals in recruiting and ranking. Okay, if you guys have any questions, just reach out to me, and I love you all so much. I'm gonna stop this recording and then we can say bye.